knee injury. And in the first game back, he threw for 446 for 3 touchdowns. Chiefs scored 32 points. Now, they were lining up to kick a field goal. The snapper snapped it early. The holder gets up, throws the ball away. Now, that's 4th down, Skip. So now he gets an intentional grounding, lost it down, with 15 yards tacked on. And even after they took the lead, my homeboy takes him back down the field for another field goal attempt to tie the game up, but it gets blocked. I believe this game should be, at best case scenario, 10 points. I'm going to be surprised.
Really?
Because my homeboy feeling it.
Really?
He feeling good. Yeah. This thing about to get ugly, Skip. It's about to be Bubba Sparks up here. Yep.
Would you give me 12 right now?
No, I give you 10 right now, though.
Really?
Yep. Right now.
Well, you said it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
So 12 would
I don't
be...
because the backdoor, you do these little backdoor covers and I lose. No. I give you 10 right now.
11.
10. 10 points, Skip Bayless.
I'll wait until Friday.
Thinking about it.
I am thinking about it. You realize, to your point, this is quite arguably, maybe not even arguably, the biggest championship game quarterback mismatch in the history of pro football. Am I right?
You might be.
Yes.
You've got the reigning MVP, your homeboy, who's now hot again, and pulled off a 24-0 comeback Sunday and was spectacular against Ryan Tannehill, who got dumped a year ago by the Miami Dolphins, who traded for Josh Rosen to replace Ryan Tannehill? Are you kidding me? And now Ryan Tannehill is the starting quarterback at Kansas City. It's not Tom Brady at Kansas City like a year ago. It's Ryan Tannehill against my homeboy. And I got to tell you, there's a reason the spread's opened at 7.5 and got bet down a half point, which is something. It's something to monitor.
Okay.
Got bet down to just 7. It's because Tennessee, right before your very eyes, has turned into a playoff force.
Yeah, they're hot.
Derrick Henry had not been unleashed quite yet in that 35-32 game.
Yeah, Skip, that was the first game he got unleashed.
But he wasn't that guy yet. I got you. He put up pretty good numbers.
188. You went for 188.
I know, but it hadn't happened yet where they said, oh, wait a second, this is how we do it. Slowly but surely, because it's been the last 3 in a row now, he's gone 180 plus, right? So they have figured out a new formula. It's not everybody's formula. In fact, it's really nobody else's formula. It's just their formula. So you should be nervous because they have had a recent history of going in and spoiling parties. They have party pooped all over the place, right?
Yeah.
They did it in Dallas last year. They did it on opening day at Cleveland this year, 43-13. We both think ended Tom Brady's run in New England on that Saturday night, and then they turned right around and went to Baltimore.
Well, Kansas City know full well because they did it to Kansas City. Kansas City was up, 21-3. And they came back and beat Kansas City. Derrick Henry ran wild in that game. I think he had a $153 in that game. Now, Kansas City raced out to a 10-0 lead. And there was a play early in the game, Skip, that Mahomes had an opportunity to hit Kelsey. But he threw a no-look pass, and he sailed it. Would have put him up by a larger margin. You can't leave any points because the quicker you can race to a 14, 17-point lead, put the ball in Tannehill's hands as opposed to Derrick Henry's belly, the better your chances are. Now, there's a reason why they gave up those first-round picks to get Frank Clark, and he showed you on Sunday. He needs to have another coming-out party like that. Old Suggs now, Skip, they on the waiver wire, Suggs wanted to go back to Baltimore.
Good pickup.
This is an opportunity for him. He just needs to make one play. Strip sack, fumble recovery. He has that in him. I believe Suggs makes a play, and that's going to be I don't think it's going to be the difference, but I expect Mahomes to play big. I expect him to put up big numbers. I'm not going to be surprised if he has a 400-yard passing day.
How much time of possession will he have to put up those big numbers? That is the
question. He don't need it. As Houston, Texas, how much time he need? Because in 9.5 minutes, he got 28. He don't need much time.
The Tennessee Titans are the flip side of the Houston Texans. They are mentally and physically tougher than the Texans. They are much better coached than the Texans.
I'm not going to debate any of that.
They are much hotter than the Texans, doing it their way. And speaking of making plays, Ryan Tannehill doesn't make very many, and I've never been a big fan of his, but he has made 3 plays in the last 2 games that changed each of the last 2 games. if we could see 3rd and 8
Yeah.
at New England. It's 3rd and 8, and Tom Brady's about to get the ball back with 2.5 minutes left, and he throws it to one of the no-name tight ends, because he's got 3 of them.
Yep.
Heck of hits him.
Heck of a throw.
What a heck of a throw that was, and that basically ended the game, because that throw allowed them to punt Tom Brady back to his 1-yard line with 15 seconds left, right? So then what happened on Saturday night at Baltimore? He makes an early throw to another no-name tight end, right? Jonnu Smith, right? Remember this? And it's a nice catch, but it's also a really sweet throw from Ryan Tannehill that set a tone. There we go. And then what happens next? He drops a dime on the little kid from Holy Cross. Holy cow. Look at this. That's Ryan Tannehill.
That was pretty.
Those 2 throws sent Baltimore home. That just did it. Those 2 throws wrecked Lamar's run to the Super Bowl.
It basically ended a storybook Cinderella season.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill has not thrown the ball very much. But think about in the few throws that he does have, he has 3 touchdowns in those throws.
So he completed 7 balls at Baltimore, 7 of 14. But I just showed you 2 of them.
2 touchdowns.
And they changed the whole flow of the game.
It wasn't like he completed a whole bunch of balls in New England, but he had that 1 touchdown to that tight end again.
He had 1 touchdown to that tight end. So the point is, if they can get a lead, then they got that big old...
But the difference is between them getting a lead in Baltimore and Kansas City, Kansas City is equipped to throw the football. You wouldn't blink an eye if you ask him to throw the ball 50 times, because that's what he threw. I think he was 31 of 50 for 446 and 3 touchdowns in that game. Tyreek went wild, had 11 for $157 and a couple of touchdowns. I expect my homeboy to show you once and for all why he's the best thing going today.
And I expect Derrick Henry to show you once again, I have never seen anything like Derrick Henry in my whole career. Never. He is, everybody's now, after we started it, everybody's comparing him to Eric Dickerson. So he's like Eric Henry now instead of Derrick, right? But listen, he's beyond Eric Dickerson, because as Eric said last Friday, he's like 6'4.5", 260. Eric is 6'3". Eric Dickerson, 6'3", played at 225.
Yeah, he said much less.
Okay, so I keep saying Moose who runs like a deer, because he's got a burst to him that's Dickerson-like. So he is just wearing down and out defenses, and I believe he's going to do the same thing to just a pretty good Kansas City defense.
But I think since week 11, I saw the stats, Skip, Kansas City leads the league in scoring defense at a little over 11 points a game.
Okay.
But Kansas City's defense is predicated on their offense. Is that race out to a big league, Skip, and make you take unnecessary risk, knowing that the guy, if you give the ball back to Mahomes, he's going to put another touchdown on you, and you take unnecessary risk.
The Ravens were ranked 5th against the run for the regular season, and you saw what just happened, right? So I believe that a force of nature is going to hit Arrowhead.
You got to get the lead, though, Skip. You got to get the lead. You got to take them out of the run. You got to make you got, like you said, Patrick Mahomes versus Ryan Tannehill, where you really got to make it that battle, as opposed to Derrick Henry versus Patrick Mahomes. You got to make it quarterback.
I'll take the 10 right now.
You got a deal. That's my homeboy. Skip.
I got it.
That's a bad man, Skip. That's a bad man.
This is a bad team.
That's a bad man.
A good team.
Henry doesn't look like
Travis Kelce, you say you love Travis Kelce.
Oh, I do. He's the best pass catcher of any tight end.
Tyreek, had a Sammy Watkins showing.
Glad we got a Beckham.
You know Mecole Hardman, he due for one.
Makes things more fun.
I just hope Marcus Robinson can catch this week. That's all I need him to do, just catch.
All right, let's talk about the other matchup as well. Do the Niners already have the psychological edge over the Packers this Sunday? Mark Schiller joins us with his as 7-point favorites. Are the Chiefs getting too much respect or not enough?
I don't believe they're getting enough. Skip, the first time they played in Nashville, that was my homeboy's first game back from that knee injury. And in his first game back, he threw for 446 for 3 touchdowns. Chiefs scored 32 points. Now, they were lining up to kick a field goal. The snapper snapped it early. The holder gets up, throws the ball away. Now, that's 4th down, Skip. So now he gets